What up, guys? Gangstapranksta here, bringing you the weekly wrestling review for September 8th. Welcome to the show. If you're new to the show, this is where we talk everything about professional wrestling. From news, reviews, to predictions, we talk about it all. So if you're a fan of professional wrestling, welcome to the show. On today's show, we're going to be giving reviews for RAW, NXT, Impact, Smackdown, Ring of Honor, predictions for No Surrender, and a little bit of wrestling news. I just want to say I'm glad I can finally be updated. I'm on a schedule now with these weekly wrestling reviews. I'm all caught up. So yeah, I'd like to keep it this way, hopefully for a while. So good to be back on schedule. So let's go jump right into the reviews. First, we have Raw. It starts out with Sheamus comes out and is immediately interrupted by CM Punk. Punk comes out, the two go back and forth and stuff, talk about respect and all that kind of stuff. And AJ comes out, makes a match between the two later. First match, we got Dolph Ziggler versus Randy Orton. Good match, Ziggler wins. Next, we got more anger management classes for Kane and Daniel Bryan. They showed their art collages. They did trust falls. Okay, so the trust fall thing, Kane had to catch Daniel Bryan, right? And then he caught him. And then after that, they were supposed to catch another guy, but they didn't catch him. They just let him fall. I think it would have been funny if it's like, all right, Bryan, Kane caught you. Now you got to catch Kane. I think that would have been fucking hilarious. That didn't end up happening, but we did have more to do with Kane and Daniel Bryan later in the night. We will talk about that in a second. Next, we got Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio taking on Cody Rhodes and Tenzai. Pretty good match. Mysterio and Sin Cara win. Next, we got CM Punk versus Sheamus. Match never happened because Punk said it was Labor Day and he's taking the day off. So it turned into Sheamus versus Jack Swagger. Pretty good match. Sheamus wins. After the match, Del Rio attacks Sheamus. Sheamus gets the upper hand and accidentally hits a bro kick on Ricardo Rodriguez. There's more to this story. We'll talk about that on SmackDown. Also, later in the night, Swagger was leaving the arena, and AJ was like, yo, why you leaving? He's like, I'm taking a break. So Swagger's not going to be on Raw for a while. Good to see. I hope he comes back, and I hope he has a presence, like, when he comes back. I hope he's used better, because, like, he's a former world champion. Nobody remembers that because of all the recent shit, So I'd maybe return him back to the world heavyweight title. I don't care. I just like to see him used better than what he was being used as before. Next, we got Eve versus Caitlyn. Okay match. Eve wins. Ryback versus Jinder Mahal. Okay match. Ryback wins. Next, we got Kane and Daniel Bryan. They come out, and the fans get to choose. They get to choose if they wrestle, they tag, or they hug. Of course, people chose that they hug. They hug. Took them about 7 minutes to hug, but they finally did it. And then, after the hugging, came some shoving, and then some brawling. And, yeah, they pretty much just beat each other up after that. Next, we got Santino Marella versus Antonio Cesaro for the U.S. title. Blah match. Antonio Cesaro wins. Next, we got Heath Slater versus Zack Ryder. Okay match. Ryder wins. Next, we got Vicky Guerrero comes out and calls out AJ. AJ apologizes for her actions. Vicky calls bullshit and says she doesn't mean it. Vicky slaps AJ like twice, I believe. And then AJ went ballistic, so not looking very good on the Raw side of things. Did Vince McMahon make the right choices for a Raw GM? She's kind of going apeshit. Doesn't really have a handle on what's going on Raw. Jericho, Lesnar, Swagger. Who else left? There was someone else that left. Oh, Punk left in the night and stuff, so probably something's gonna happen to her. Don't know what though. She might get replaced with Vicky. I kind of see that happening. I don't know when, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. And last but not least, we have John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio. Falls Count Anywhere match. Good match, Del Rio wins. The ending happened in the back, and after the match, CM Punk attacks John Cena, and then leaves in a car with Paul Heyman. I like this a lot. It's been known that Paul Heyman is a fan of CM Punk. When they originally debuted ECW, like in 2006, like the rebranding, Paul Heyman pretty much wanted CM Punk to be a top guy, but that didn't end up happening, which is whatever. But I like this alliance. I don't know what Punk and Lesnar are going to do, if they do anything. I definitely see at Survivor Series, like Team Punk, or probably Punk, Lesnar, maybe someone else taking on Triple H, John Cena. That's like the main event of a pay-per-view right there. Lesnar and Punk versus Triple H and John Cena. I'd love to see that on a pay-per-view, or maybe, you know, do a Survivor Series type thing where they team up with 3 other guys and have a 5-on-5. I think that'd be cool as shit. But I'd totally be down to see. Wait, what's the next pay-per-view? Night of Champions, and then I don't know. But I'd love it. I don't know. Actually, Triple H retired. That'd be dumb to bring him back so quick. I don't know. Down the line, I'd love to see this tag team match in a main event of a pay-per-view. So yeah, that was it for Raw. I would like to see more about the CM Punk, Paul Heyman. Does Brock Lesnar have anything to do with it? I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit more of that. Next we got NXT. Starts out with Richie Steamboat versus Cassius Ohno. Okay match. Steamboat wins by DQ. After the match, Ohno attacks Steamboat, and then Ricky Steamboat comes out and freaks out. And later on, they had a backstage segment with Cassius Ohno and Ricky Steamboat. It looks like this might lead to a match between the two, which would be fucking cool. But yeah, we'll just have to see where that goes. Next we got Aji Marie versus Paige. Okay match, Paige wins. Next we got Percy Watkins versus Leo Kruger. Okay match, Kruger wins. Next we got Brodus Clay versus Ryan Collins. Blah match, Brodus wins. Next we got Usos versus The Ascension. Pretty good match, The Ascension wins. And in the main event segment, we had Jim Ross interviews Seth Rollins. He pretty much says that he'll take on anyone and will be a fighting champion. I would have liked to see longer matches. It just seemed like they tried to squeeze in a shit ton of matches, which I guess is okay, but I would have liked to see a longer match. And the main event, or like the last thing that they did, the whole interview, it felt kind of flat. I think they should have used this this interview segment to kind of build up the next feud. Have Jinder Mahal come out, say he wants a rematch, and then attack Seth Rollins or something. Or have Michael McGillicuddy come out. Have, who's another heel? I don't know, I'm not too familiar with the roster, but just something like that leading into a possible next feud. Oh, but like the ending just fell kind of flat. He said he'll be a fighting champion, then celebrated with the title. That was it. So yeah, that was NXT. Next we got TNA Impact. Starts out with Jeff Hardy versus Samoa Joe. Pretty good match. Hardy wins. After the match, Christy Hemme interviews Joe. He's interrupted by Magnus, and Magnus said that Joe ruined their tag team, and then he attacked him. Next we got Gail Kim versus Tara. Pretty good match. Tara wins. Next guy, Al Snow comes out and calls out Joey Ryan. Joey comes out and says, and Al says if Joey can win a match, he will get a contract. Al Snow says that that Joey Ryan has to beat him. Joey backs off. Al Snow slaps him, and Joey just leaves the ring screaming he's gonna sue TNA. A lot of suing. You know, the more that I look at it, there's a lot of parallels between WWE and TNA. You have the whole Joey Ryan say he's gonna sue somebody, and then you got fucking on SmackDown, you got David Otunga saying he's gonna file a lawsuit because of bro kick. What else? There was another similarity. Austin Aries injuring his arm, while Brock Lesnar breaking Triple H's arm. Like, I don't know if it's just me, or just like I'm nitpicking or whatever, but it just the little similarities, and, whatever. Maybe it's just me, just overthinking things and shit. Just, you know, doing what I do. Anyways, they finally addressed the whole Joey Ryan thing. That's cool. It's probably gonna lead to a match, and I see Joey Ryan possibly beating Al Snow and then earning a contract. Where that will lead to from then on, I have no fucking idea. Next we got RVD versus Bully Ray. This was a good match. Bully Ray wins. Next we got James Storm comes out and tells everyone who he's going to face at No Surrender. He ends up picking Bully Ray. Next we got Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. They had to defend their TNA tag team titles, and Hogan got to pick their opponents. It was either Chavo and Hernandez, Robbie E and Robbie T, and Gunner and Kid Cash. And, you know, the whole fucking what's it called, open fight night. You know, he got to pick, blah blah blah, eliminate the guys. And then it ended up being Chavo, Guerrero, and Hernandez. This was a good match. Hernandez and Kazarian won. I do recommend checking out this match. I really enjoyed it. And after the match, Hogan says that they will defend their titles at No Surrender against AJ Styles and Kurt Angle. And in the main event segment, they had, throughout the night, you know, Austin Aries was interrogating a guy who was hired by Aces and Eights, the one that attacked him last week. And in the final segment, Aries came out with the guy and says he will let him go if Aces and Eights agree to a fight. The leader of Aces and Eights come out, but they attack the guy, and then Aries jumps the leader, and they brawl until the show ends. So that was that. So yeah, that was that. Again, very incomplete ending, just like NXT. Like, Raw had a good ending. Raw, you know, you have CM Punk leave with Heyman, and that creates enough intrigue for next week. People want to see, oh my god, what the fuck? Why is Punk with Heyman? Blah blah blah. NXT, flat as shit. Nothing happened in the main event segment. It fell flat. And same thing with Impact. I think the brawl should have led to something. Whether they chase him out of the arena, they brawl backstage, and then all of Aces and Eights jump Aries. I have no fucking idea. Something other than this. But yeah, that's just my opinion though. Next we got Smackdown. It starts out with Alberto Del Rio, David Otunga, and Ricardo Rodriguez come out and demand that the Bro Kick be banned. And Booker T comes out and says, nope, that's it. That was the first segment. And anyways, throughout the night, David Otunga was trying to convince Booker T banning the Bro Kick, or he was going to file a... he was pretty much going to sue him. I forgot the fucking word that he used. Whatever. So yeah, we'll talk about did Booker T end up banning the Bro Kick later. We'll talk about that in a second. First match was Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara versus Miz and Cody Rhodes. Pretty good match. Mysterio and Sin Cara win. Next we got Zack Ryder versus Daniel Bryan. Okay match. Bryan wins. After the match, Bryan continues the no lock until the ref reverses the decision, and then he fucking loses the shit. Next we got Damian Sandow versus Randy Orton. Pretty good match. Orton wins. And after the match, Ziggler and him get into a little brawl. Damian Sandow comes back out, and he gets an RKO. Next, we got the Usos versus the Primetime Players versus Epico and Primo in a three-way tag team match. How much I love these matches. Personally, I think it should have been a four-way, throwing Justin Gabriel and Tyson Kidd in there. And I thought it would have been a fucking awesome match. You give this 10 minutes, this could have stole the show. But that's not saying much on a SmackDown. Because, yeah. Anyways, pretty good match. Primetime Players win. Next, we have the return of Wade Barrett. He returned on SmackDown. He took on Yoshi Tatsu. The match was okay. Barrett wins. And, you know, good to see him back. He's supporting the facial hair, which I think makes him look more of a badass. He had his wrists taped up, because, you know, the segments that they were using to bring him back, you know, he went back to England or whatever, and then did the whole boxing fight. What, I don't know, whatever the fuck he did. And yeah, so I guess he's gonna be like a kind of a Cassius Ohno type person, where he's like knocking people out. Cassius Ohno, Big Show, Wade Barrett, all same type of deal, where they're knocking people out. So yeah, anyways, good to see him back. Personally, I would have liked to seen this on Raw, and I wouldn't want them to tell me, because beforehand they're like, Wade Barrett's gonna make his return, come back after the commercial break to see it. You know, personally, I think it should have been on Raw. You have Yoshi, Tatsu, or someone, a jobber, come out, and then it's like you wait for it, and then Wade Barrett comes out. People are like, holy shit, it's Wade Barrett! I don't remember that guy. Oh shit, yeah, it's him, because he has the facial hair. I would have liked to seen that, but whatever. Again, me nitpicking. Whatever. And in the main event, we have David Otunga versus Sheamus. Okay match. Sheamus wins. During the match, Booker T came out and banned the bro kick. But that's okay, because if Sheamus won't make you, if he won't knock you out, then he'll make you tap out. And he's been adopting a new finisher, the Texas Cloverleaf. So we'll see if that will get him the win at Night of Champions. And I'll give my predictions for that next time. We'll get to that in a second. Next we got Ring of Honor TV. It starts out with the Bravado Brothers taking on Steve Corino and Jimmy Jacobs. This was another tag team title tournament match. Good match. Steve Corino and Jimmy Jacobs will win. But before the match, they said, you know, if they lose a match, then they're gone from Ring of Honor. Now, I kind of hate stipulations like this, because it's kind of like, okay, I guess they're going to win then. Because rarely do those people lose and then get fired. Rarely. It's always like, oh, they're going to win, I guess. So, my money is on Steve Corino and Jimmy Jacobs to win this whole tag team title tournament right now. So, yeah. And next we got Matt Taven versus Jay Lethal. Match never happened after Lethal low blows Matt Taven, then attacks the ref. Before the match, Lethal says he asked Cornette for a title shot at the world title, and Cornette didn't give it to him because he's not mean enough. So, you know, Jay Lethal just come out and just fucking was an asshole. Now, I don't know if he's a heel because the crowd was cheering him. So, I don't know if he's like full heel now, or maybe just like a badass baby face, take no shit from nobody. But if this was an attempt to turn Jay Lethal into a heel, I think they should not do that, because Ring of Honor has a ton of heels right now, and they are lacking in the babyface department. Like babyface wise, you got Eddie Edwards, Mike Mondo, the Briscos. And that's about it. Like, there are more heels. Like, you got Kevin Steen, Steve Corino, Jimmy Jacobs, Tommaso Ciampa, Mike Bennett, Rhino, Roderick Strong. I guess you can consider Michael Elgin a top baby face. But, yeah, we'll throw him in there. But there's just, again, there's more heels than baby faces. So why are you going to make more heels when you need baby faces? That's just my opinion. And last but not least, we have Charlie Haas and Rhett Titus taking on the Guardians of Truth. Pretty good match. Haas and Titus win, and they advance in the tag team title tournament. Next, we got predictions. Oh, wait. This was a good episode of Ring of Honor. I did enjoy it. I thought the beginning match of the Bravados versus Steve Corino and Jimmy Jacobs was a solid opener. They had a solid, good tag team match. I really enjoyed it. The whole Jay Lethal thing, I enjoyed it as well. The main event was alright, but for the most part, this was a good show. And if you want to know how to watch Ring of Honor, what you want to do is you want to go to ROHWrestling.com, sign up for the free account, and you can watch the show every Thursday. If you want to watch past episodes like this, I don't know if it'll still be up. Actually, it will. This will be up until Thursday when they replace it with the new episode. So go sign up for an account, watch this episode, because it was really good. And yeah, so next we got TNA No Surrender. This is TNA's next pay-per-view. Overall, the card looks okay. Nothing compared to what they had at Hardcore Justice. Personally, I think that's one of TNA's best pay-per-views they put on in a while. And, you know, it's going down in my books as probably TNA's best pay-per-view this year so far. And this pay-per-view, it looks alright. This is going to be the final pay-per-view before they go into Bound for Glory, which is in October. Pretty excited about that. I am. And we'll just have to see what's gonna happen there. But first, we have No Surrender. Let's quickly go through the card. First, we got RVD and Magnus. This match was thrown together at the last second. Just a lot of these matches were just thrown together, and that's one thing I really don't like when that happens. And that's just one of these matches. RVD and Magnus, they had a little, I guess, altercation at Impact, where Magnus I can compare this to the whole Jericho Ziggler feud that just happened, where it's like, you know, Ziggler's saying, you know, Jericho's changed, he can't win matches anymore. And Magnus is pretty much doing the same thing with RVD. I don't see this being a long-term feud. I just see this happening. It's going to be like a one-night type thing. And I think this is going to lead into a Magnus vs. Samoa Joe match at Bound for Glory, which, it's whatever to me. So I'm going to have to go with Magnus on this one. Next we got Zema Iron vs. Sanjay Dutt. No build up to this whatsoever. We haven't seen Sanjay Dutt since Hardcore Justice. We haven't seen we haven't seen Zema Iron since Hardcore Justice. We haven't seen Sanjay Dutt since Destination X. Actually, the Impact after Destination X. Anyways, it's been a while since we've seen these two fuckers. There's no build up to this, none at all, and they just expect, oh, have a match with no build up whatsoever. I'd rather see Kenny King and Zema Ion in a rematch. I mean, I like Sanjay Dutt, but again, no build up whatsoever. Just thrown together at the last second because they don't have shit for matches. They didn't plan it out. They're too busy with the whole Aces and Eights thing. They're like, oh, we got a pay-per-view coming up. Quick, what are you doing Sunday, September, whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, very poor planning on TNA's part. Anyways, this should be a good match. I'm going to have to go with Zema Ion on this one. Again, continuing to what I think is going to happen at Bound for Glory. I would love to see Jesse Sorensen and Zema Ion at Bound for Glory for the X Division title. Jesse Sorensen comes back, makes his return, takes out the guy who broke his neck, and wins the X Division title all in one night. What a perfect place for that to happen. Bound for Glory. Hopefully he's 100% with his neck. And, yeah, I just love to see that match happen at Bound for Glory. Next, we got Kazarian and Christopher Daniels versus AJ Styles and Kurt Angle for the TNA Tag Team titles. Personally, I think this feud should end already between AJ, Christopher Daniels, and Kazarian. Just let AJ do something else, whether it's, to be honest, I don't know what the fuck he could do. He's a guy that just, he's done everything. He's faced everybody. He's had a feud with pretty much everybody, unless you throw him back in the X Division or something like that. Maybe give this guy a break. You know, let him take a month off, a month or two off. Let him come back, brand new. Maybe turn him into a heel. You know, I don't know. Just, I mean, I like their matches, but I want to see something else. That's just me, though. Hopefully Christopher Daniels and Kazarian retain. I really like their tag team, but there's no tag teams in TNA. I really think they should bring one on Gutcheck. They fucking need tag teams, and they don't have any. Literally, trying to think of tag teams in TNA. You have Robbie and Rob Terry. You have Chavo and Hernandez, who are thrown together. And you got Kid Cash and Gunner, who are thrown together. I really like the Gunner Kid Cash tag team. But, again, them versus Kazarian and Daniels. Heel versus heel. That's, nah, that wouldn't work. What were we talking about? I don't even know anymore. Anyways, we got this tag team title match. I'm pulling for Kazarian and Daniels. I don't think AJ and Angle need the tag team titles. I think Angle's going to be involved with the whole Aces and Eights thing. For AJ, I have no idea. I'd love to see him do something else. What that is, I have no idea. I really don't. Next, we got Brooke Tessmacher versus Tara in a Knockouts title match. I'm actually looking forward to this match. You know, the whole student versus mentor going on here. I don't think Tara's going to win. I think Brooke Tessmacher is going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tara turns heel in this match, just like, you know, the student surpassed the teacher, and she gets angry and then beats up Brooke Tessmacher because she thinks she's better. You know, she's older, wiser, stronger, faster, smarter, blah, blah, blah. And I could see this possibly leading into another match at Bound for Glory, which I wouldn't mind. And next we got the 2 Bound for Glory series final matches, the semi-final matches. So we got Samoa Joe versus Jeff Hardy, and we got James Storm versus Bully Ray. Winner of those matches are going to face each other in the main event. So first we got Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy. Not too excited about this just because we just saw it on Impact the week before, and they're going to have a rematch. I don't remember if they explained this on Impact, but why would I pay for a match that I just saw on TV for free? You know what I'm saying? Like, just dumb. I think, again, probably got to go with Jeff Hardy because of the whole Samoa Joe Magnus thing, if they do that at Bound for Glory. So that puts Jeff Hardy in the main event. James Storm versus Bully Ray. To be honest, I think James Storm is going to win the whole tournament and go on to face Austin Aries and then win the title, because they've been pushing him so much, like, it would just make sense. But at the same time, you got this whole Aces and Eights thing, and kind of Storm's been involved, not by choice, because they were putting the blame on him. So I'm gonna go with Storm and Hardy in the finals. I'm gonna have Storm win and you know, be the winner of the whole Bound for Glory series, take on Austin Aries at Bound for Glory, which I don't think is the main event of your biggest pay-per-view. Like, I think that's a pretty bad main event. In my opinion, James Storm versus Austin Aries in the main event for Bound for Glory. Would you pay to see that? Like, personally, I wouldn't. I don't think... I don't know, it's just not, like, main event worthy, you know? When you think of those two people, that's just me. Like, I like Austin Aries a lot. I like James Storm a lot. But them headlining the biggest pay-per-view for TNA. And, I just don't see it. Sorry, that's just me, though. Hardy versus Aries, I see that being more of a match people would pay to see. I don't know if it's because Hardy is a bigger name. I would like to see Hardy versus Austin Aries over Storm versus Austin Aries. That's just me. Huh? Well, I think Storm's going to win it, but I'd like to see Hardy versus Aries. That'd be interesting. So that's it for TNA No Surrender. Those are my predictions. Next, we got some wrestling news, so let's just quickly go through it. According to F4W Online, TNA is considering dropping the television title. The current title holder is Devon, who appears to be done with the company after not signing a new contract. Reportedly, there has been talk of doing away with the title and just getting rid of it. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this. I think they should keep the TV title. If you want to get rid of any titles, it should be the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Get rid of those. They don't do anything for your company. They're a waste of space. If you're gonna... What they should really do with the TV... okay, two things. Get rid of the Knockouts Tag Team title. Your Knockouts division sucks. It's not as good as it used to be. Two, and that, again, that's pretty evident by Eric Young holding the Knockouts title. Two, get rid of... I'm going to agree with this to an extent. Get rid of the TV title, but rebrand it. You know, let it go a couple months, and then have someone like Robbie E just be like, hey, remember this title? Well, kind of like what WCW did, where Scott Hall threw out the WCW television title, and then Jim Duggan found it, and then started defending it. Kind of something like that. where they drop the title and then they kind of bring it back a couple months later. Brand new title. Get rid of that fucking title because it's the Legends title. It's the Global Championship, I think it was. And now the TV title. Get rid of that fucking title. Get a brand new title to represent your TV title. And that's it. That's what you do. You have someone like Robbie E. just be like, hey, you guys forgot this? The TV title? Well, it's mine now, bitches. And then he defends it and blah, 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 blah. I think that'd be good. But yeah, get rid of it for now and then bring it back. That's my idea. That's what I would do. And last but not least, we have Winter has been released from TNA, and Luke Gallows has signed with TNA. So let's break this down real quick. So Winter released from the Knockouts division. Sad to see her go, but she hasn't done anything in a while, so I guess that's okay. On the other hand, we have Luke Gallows signing with TNA. It's being reported that he's part of the Aces and Eights storyline. Don't know if that's true yet. There's a lot of rumored people. You got guys like Chris Masters being rumored, Mike Knox, Wes Brisco, which I think he's in there, and Luke Gallows. Those are 4 names that are being rumored to be in the Aces and Eights. We'll have to see if that happens or not, but I don't know. I don't have too much to say about Luke Gallows being signed. I haven't really seen him like in singles action. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I think of Luke Gallows, I think of Jesse and Festus, and I think of the Straight Edge Society. You know, I don't really think of himself as a by himself wrestler. So that's just me. I haven't seen him wrestle. You know, maybe he can fucking amaze me. But yeah. Anyways, that's it for the weekly wrestling review. Come back next week where we have reviews for No Surrender, Raw, NXT, Smackdown, Impact, and Ring of Honor. I fucked that up, my order. Raw, Smackdown, Impact, Ring of Honor, and NXT. And I think predictions for WWE Night of Champions. And some more wrestling news. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Glad to be back on a schedule. Check for some WWE/TNA Universe in the upcoming days, either tomorrow or the day after. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Come back next week where we have all that stuff I talked about. Thanks for watching. Peace out.